Hey, what's up, you guys? Sorry, Kid here, and I'm back. After a few weeks of being ill and the first week of summer, which was a really busy week, I am finally back in making videos for you guys. First and foremost, before I get into the main topic, I'm working on my countdown. I'm hoping to get it done before June 30th, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. So that's going to be worked on throughout this week. If I don't get it done, oh well. But I'm hoping to get it done as soon as possible, and hopefully you guys get to enjoy it. It's actually an urban rivals topic, so once that's done, and you guys can go check it out. But also, I want to make sure that you guys also think about when I do a countdown relating to urban rivals, and you guys know a lot about urban rivals, right? Especially the other urban rivals YouTubers. I know who they are somewhat. And if you guys do want to make a, a video response to that countdown or any countdown that I'm going to be making that relates to urban rivals, you guys could and also do a countdown on your own. Yes, my countdowns will be opinion pieces, but I will try to put a lot of more emphasis on that, with some facts and some experiences for backup evidence. Unfortunately, no videos um, from past experiences because, well, I didn't record every single battle. And then after that, the last thing that I have to say is that I'm going to be working on a lot of rants and a lot of episodes of Urban Rival Battles, as well as Fantasy Rival Battles, as well as Altiel rants. Because there's a bone to pick with Altiel right now. For me, there's a bone to pick. So let's get to the topic, and oh my gosh, this was the main reason why I needed to come back, even though I was still sick. This is my Mechakolos slash price bullshit rant. Yeah, that bad. A third time. A third freaking time, people. Really. You guys didn't learn the first time. Well, technically, you guys learned from the first time. But then you didn't learn from the second time it happened. And then it happened a third time. After the second time. Realistically. Because the real second time a special card was actually released, the price of that card actually went down, and now I actually have a few doubles of that card. Plus, I haven't been doing that card's mission, so oh well. Anyways, before I ramble about me not able to work on new blood missions, let me get to a post I was going to put on Mechakolos' page, but I didn't want to, since it would be great for this rant. And let me explain what reprisal is before I use it in the post. Reprisal is the opposite of courage. It's more like playing second in a round. Remember that courage is usually cards that have to be played first for the ability to be activated. Reprisal is when cards that have to be played after the first one does get played, so that card's ability to be activated. So here's my post. Even though Reprisal was a great new addition to the game, Mechakolos is not a great card since it is much more weaker compared to Kolos, since Mechakolos is predictable, weak to SOB, Pussycats, and it gives all the other clans an advantage against the card. This card should not be the most expensive Geist in the game, as it is considered as a collector. What I mean by that is that since there's not as many copies of Mechakolos released in the game, there's around 1,000 copies of the card released in the game. Maybe near 500, I'm not sure. And since like that amount doesn't respond to like a regular character, there's like hundreds of thousands of copies of those cards out. It's going to be considered a collector. Even though this card is considered as a collector, it's also one of the worst cases of a special card released in your to date. Even though Uchtool has a backlash ability that people still hate to death, at least there are life cards that Nightmare have that justifies the means if players think. I'm not jabbing at the players again because I already jabbed at them the first time. I mean the Uchtool rant. I'm not gonna do it again. Even though I probably did. Sorry about that. Mechakolos' strategies, on the other hand, are predictable and can easily be countered. Especially when you're playing against Nightmare or Piranhas. Especially when it's used against Ulrich, Nistarok, Nerfinetti, or any SOA, SOB, damage reducing SOB cards released, as well as Pussycat cards. Plus, if Kolos and Mechakolos were in a non-random battle against each other with both having 7 power, 12 damage, and the same amount of attack with all their abilities, bonuses, whatsoever, Kolos automatically wins because he is played first when Mechakolos has to be played second to get his ability, and since the stipulation in non-random battling is when both characters have the same amount of attack, power, and stars, the first one played automatically wins. Yeah, that's a rule. Mm-hmm. Actually, that's a stipulation. Mm-hmm. That is legitimately one of the stipulations in the game. Going against this card. And look what happened to it. Now here comes the bullshit that I have to go through once again. Pretty much repeating what I said before. And you know, this is gonna be funny. Okay. What the hell, guys? What the hell is wrong with you guys? You guys really want me to explain what I'm really pissed off about. Okay, it's the fucking repeating problem all over again with Pilskin, Uchtal, and now Mechakolos. Do I need to fucking explain how I feel about this? He's a fucking 300k plus cleans right now in the market. And you guys are just going to fucking get more Clint for a card that is considered collector when there will be more being released a month later. Plus, the event was stupid to begin with since it ended the same amount of days as the Pillskin event. No joke. What the fuck is the point of the travesty of cards just to get your fucking Clintsworth? Right? Oh, that's what I kind of said in the script. That's what I put in the script. But let me explain a little bit more on that, shall I? What I'm trying to say here is that you guys, the people who's selling the card at 300k, now probably 400k, 500k, 600k, a million Clints, are just getting your Clints worth from the event, even though you still got Clints after playing the damn event. For shame. For shame. You guys need to understand that there are other freaking possibilities of getting Clint, even though people are probably still going to be complaining that it's hard to get Clint's in this game. It's going to be difficult for me to grind. It's going to take a long ass time to get freaking Clint's from just playing this game. Let me see how many different ways are there to freaking get Clint's. Shall I? Battling, selling, doubles that you don't need, working on missions, playing an ELO, DT, Survivor, Deathmatch, and other modes, daily tickets. That's a lot. That's a lot of ways. You guys think it's hard? It was harder back then. Back then, when I first started playing, we didn't have missions. We only had ELO, DT, and Survivor. Back then. And all you new guys are complaining. Even some of you guys who've been around for the last few years have been complaining that it's hard to get Clint in this game. When it's not hard. When you think. And play the goddamn game. I'm not saying that selling the card is bad. I'm not saying that. But selling it at a high price just to get more Clint's out of it? That's just feeding egos. I mean, especially when the card's going to be released weeks later. Actually, a month later, to be exact. And people have been selling these cards, you know, before they get released into the market legitimately, just to get their clints worth, even though they still get clints from playing the game as they do the event, as well as playing in the meta rooms, to be specific. And probably still think that it's hard to get clints nowadays. If I hear that complaint, when actually there was a forum on that topic, or a certain someone complaining about it. Understand that it was harder back in the day. Probably the worst time was probably when the game first started. Those first few years. Since even though there's not as many cards as how many cards there are now, they didn't have some of these modes that allow players to get a lot of clints. Understand that. Understand the difficulties that they had. It's much more easier now than it is back then. Now back to the main, I kind of rambled about that part, but think about it. If there were people to despise the most, there would be people, I mean, the people that would just sell it, you know? And hell, there's people who buy copies of cards just to resell it for more. Probably those people are rich just to get even richer. So, what do I have to say about this topic? And why should this thing stop? Well, it's pretty simple. If people are just to get the card, even though after playing in the meta rooms for 2 days, getting the clints as well as selling the card for how much is not worth it. It's not worth it because even though you're just selling the card away, how does that make players feel? Huh? For you to sell it for even more than it's supposed to be. Hell, when the card doesn't even have its own base price when it first starts being sold in the market. How does that make people feel? Pissed. Off about all this nonsense. All this nonsense that forces them to post, that warn other people to not buy it, or else they're wasting their clints. And for those who actually bought them, you guys are fools. Fools to waste clints on one card. Hell, it could be in the auction for cheaper than how much it's being sold. And the fact that it's going to be that the card will be released in July and the price will go down, it's not worth it. If people are willing to sell the cards at the right time, because they don't want it, don't sell it right now for these high, ridiculous prices. Even when right now it doesn't even have its own base price. Because this time period that it's released into the market is not a legitimate release into the market. And all I have to say is that if you guys want to buy this card or sell this card whenever you get the chance to, and you want to sell it at a legitimate price, not one of these ridiculous prices that these players are selling it for, don't sell it now. Sell it when the card is released. Hell, once the card gets released into the packs, into the market, go get packs. If you get doubles, sell it. Sell them out or work on missions. Later on, people are going to need this card for freaking missions. Oh, oh. Did everyone forget? For everyone who freaking sells these cards right now, do you guys forget that there are missions for these cards? Probably because these people are selling it for just clints and don't know the consequences of what happens later on. Like that right there. And I really didn't care about that battle, even though I was going to lose that thing anyways. Because either way, I was going to lose. I was sorry about that. But what do I have to say about it? What else do I have to say about it? I already pretty much proved why it's a bad idea. Why this is a problem. And if anyone wants to argue against me about it, find legitimate reasons. Find legitimate reasons why selling the card right now is worth it instead of just for the Clints. So, that's pretty much all I have to say. If you guys don't like what I say, you know, and you guys want me to apologize to you guys, and this is for the people who I offend on purpose, even though I didn't even legitimately calling them out by name. I'm not gonna apologize, but if I offended any people who I did not legitimately want to offend, I do want to apologize for what I've said. And whatever I say, it's not about, oh, there's a problem and there needs to be a way to fix it, and I'm that thing that fixes it. No, I'm not that person that's going to be like, oh, there's a problem and it needs to be fixed. No. I'm going to say, oh, there's a problem, and legitimately tell the reasons why it's a problem. And just say, oh, it just needs to be stopped. That's it, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked what I said about it, that's cool. But if you guys did not like what I said, and you guys want me to apologize about it, you need to find legitimately good reasons instead of emotions of why I should apologize to you about it. But other than that, if you guys liked what you guys heard from me about it, that's cool. Just let me know whatever. And also, try to think about it as well. What you guys think about it. Are you guys for it, against it, not really caring about it, whatever. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys check out the other videos on my channel as well as the other channels on YouTube. I always do this just so that I don't get the views, I don't get the subs and all that stuff. I'm not the only one getting it. This group is like a really small group. Not a lot of people are doing videos now since Meep's gone. That girl with the cards just came back. I just came back. Some of the people left. One of the guys who used to be making videos is out due to his computer dying. I'm sorry about that. I mean, well, not sorry. I'm sad about that he's not able to do any more videos. And then, like some of the other people who's new need to get some help. So, why not help them out a little bit? So again, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys check out the other videos on my channel as well as the other Urban Novelist channels on YouTube. And that's it. Peace out, you guys. Have a nice day. And more videos will be coming out soon. Hopefully, not another sickness will get me out of this. So, peace out, you guys. Have a nice day and enjoy life.